Uh-oh. Technical difficulty. Oh, there it is. Technical difficulty. Hitting the wrong button.
I'm not seeing anything on YouTube.
No?
No.
It says it's streaming. I got streaming to YouTube.
Let me hit my refresh button here.
Refresh that bad boy.
There it is. All right.
Well, welcome to Ian and Jerrod's Humpday Extravaganza. We had a extra long gap since our last one. We took last week off. I had a commitment. Actually, I had my first in-person improv rehearsal in 18 months. So while I hated not having this show, it did feel good to exercise those funny chops, you know?
I was also supposed to have an improv rehearsal that night, and it just kind of fell through.
Yeah, as they do, as they do. Hey, Amy confirms it's on YouTube. Right. Hey, Amy. Thanks for tuning in. So I had my first in-person improv rehearsal. Was supposed to perform last Friday night live. My team performed live, but I was in exciting Hartford, Connecticut with a bunch of students at a conference. So I had a miss. So that was hard. That was I heard they did really good. And I look forward to performing with them in November, at the end of November. So I'm excited.
When I was a young Connecticutian as a child, I remember being told, Hartford, you wanted something cool about where you're from. Like every show was in New York or was in California. You wanted something, what about Connecticut is cool? And I'm even from the most uncool part of Connecticut. So I remember my grandmother, being like, Hartford, the insurance capital
of the world.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So my fucking beating heart, the insurance capital of the world.
And it's not even anymore. So it lost. I don't know what is, but it is certainly, there isn't enough insurance there to lay. I don't think anybody's tried to pick up that claim, but you can't. But yeah, I grew up in Connecticut as well. I grew up in the suburbs of Hartford in Windsor. And so I bring students to this conference. We're walking through downtown Hartford, which is barely alive during the day, and it is dead at night. You don't see a soul when the sun goes down. It is
no one wants to be caught.
There's no restaurants are open. Everything's closed. It's dead. And I'm trying to be cool and hip and say I know some knowledge about Connecticut, and I laid that's the insurance capital of the world. I got cricket stares. They're like, what does that even mean? They couldn't even, what is that? And I was like, never mind. It's not. I said, that's the Travelers Building. Oh, okay. What's that? I don't know. You'll see it when there's a big golf tournament. You'll see they sponsor it every once in a while.
Everything about Connecticut, Hartford is always it's just a little off. I remember years and years ago, it was some TV show, and there was profiling gangs. It would do two big gangs from different parts of the country every episode, and Hartford would have a lot of them. But it's they talk about these other gangs. There's all this violence and everything, and then they get to the gangs of Hartford, and instead they were really smart. There's one, I think it was the Latin Kings, and they had a PR guy who was brilliant.
Yeah,
it's come on, Hartford.
they had a portfolio. They did smart investing with their ill-gotten gains.
On Wall Street now.
Where the real mobs are, where the real gangs are.
They probably get the heebie-jeebies from those crooks there. Wall Street.
So the slogan of Hartford, Connecticut's rising star.
Oh my God.
Yeah. That's a committee. That's named by committee. And if it's a rising star, it's almost horizontal. Because it's been that, and I don't see it really rising. It's staying pretty low to the ground.
If you're the state capital, you shouldn't be a rising star.
Yeah. Bridgeport.
Up on that list.
Bridgeport, who at once was bankrupt, a city that went bankrupt, could be a rising star. We got our stuff together. All right. But Hartford, You should have nowhere to go but down.
Yeah,
And with Rising Star, you got nowhere to go but up.
My little hometown of Putnam, started doing very well for itself. Rising Star made itself into a destination. People visit Putnam for stuff. Nobody visits Hartford, not voluntarily.
Yeah, I mean, it isn't like, what do you want to do today? Let's go to Hartford.
Right.
It's not like going to Boston, New York City, even New Haven is more of a destination.
Yeah. It's like, let's go to Hartford and I don't know, visit the hospital.
And then go home. Let's just drive and then go home.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's, do you want to get something to eat? I don't know of any good restaurants in Hartford. There are restaurants in Hartford. I'm not, but you go to Providence and I can name you about 5 restaurants you should really check out while you're there. If that's a low ball actually, but you go to Hartford and it's like, all right, hot tomatoes.
Hartford, you go north, 10 miles, and you're already overshadowed by Springfield, Mass. Already.
Which should be a worse city. It's a higher crime rate. It's all that. But I would rather go to Springfield, and I lived in Springfield forever. I'm gonna have a better time in Springfield than in Hartford. I may get robbed. Something may happen, but it'll be more fun.
I can't name one thing to do in Hartford. Right off the top of my head in Springfield, you got Six Flags. Technically Agawam, but
it doesn't matter. The general area.
Yeah. The Basketball Hall of Fame.
The Hall of Fame. The Hall of Fame.
The basketball is very cool, and even if you're not, it's still a neat thing to go see and visit.
You could put your foot in the footprint of Shaquille O'Neal and see how big. I mean, I don't care if you like basketball or not. Everybody should do that.
It's super cool. I took my daughters there once years ago. It's actually a great deal for veterans to go to that place. And they're not into basketball like I am, so I could have spent longer there, but still. It's an enjoy. I can think of nothing in Hartford.
Yeah. Nothing.
Hartford,
nothing.
You get your shit together.
Do something.
I can't believe
and the state has money. Come on.
Right. They're doing better now.
I mean, they complain that they don't have money, but they're all richies. I see you, New Canaan.
Yeah. We know what's going on, Greenwich.
Yeah, we know that New York City, but we don't live in New York City, people. Come on.
I was just at East Lyme for a show a week or two ago. There's money. We're doing pretty well in East Lyme.
Yeah, that shoreline, from Rhode Island to New York is there's some flush people. There's some people there with a disposable income,
So we won't make this whole show about Hartford or Connecticut.
Yeah, things we didn't plan for this week.
Not on the agenda. But it is incredible when you look at Connecticut on the map and see how small it is.
Yeah.
I probably say this every episode. Driving across the state of Connecticut takes forever. You visibly age. I didn't have gray hair in New York City, but by the time I made it to Westerly, Rhode Island, it was
were done. Yeah, and it's maybe more than two things, but I think it's a product of two things. So much fucking construction. That place is always under construction. Like every highway is as soon as they're done widening it, they need to widen it again. And I swear it's because of the mass exodus from Connecticut. Because every weekend everybody needs to get out of that damn state to have fun. And then, but also it's so damn boring. It just seems like, I thought Pennsylvania took a long time to drive through. It has nothing on Connecticut. And if you go by the clock, it's only an hour. But my God. It seems like 5.
Albert Einstein would have so many more theories of relativity if he ever drove across Connecticut. It is unbelievable how long that is. And I remember not that long ago, not more than a few years ago, they were talking about putting tolls back in Connecticut. Because I used to drive home all the time when I was stationed in Virginia. And it'd be like, every other state has tolls. You get to Connecticut, no tolls, but tons of construction.
Do you know why there was no tolls in Connecticut for a long, long time?
Nope.
So this is before, technology had Easy Pass and that sort of thing. Yeah. And it goes with it. Truck drivers would fall asleep and ram through the toll takers. So there was some deaths. but and I don't mean to make light of that. It's a tragedy, and I think rightfully so. They got rid of him,
Yeah.
But I think it also proves our point. You can't stay awake driving through Connecticut.
And they were arguing about doing it a few years ago, and you could easily do something like Massachusetts, where it's like you either have the pass or you're going to get.
Yeah, there's nobody,
even Rhode Island on 95, it has the one just for truckers.
Yep. And I hear that's what Connecticut's going to do. I hear Connecticut's going to do, tollless tolls,
The argument had been between the governor saying it was between should the money go right back into the roads, the highway department, or should it be spread about the entire state budget? And to me, it's like, I don't care. I know we're spending a lot, or they're spending a lot on the construction on those roads, and the state in general wasn't doing well. Even if the money all went to the highway department, at some point, maybe that's less that needed to come directly out of the state budget for it. I mean, come on.
I don't know.
Start the construction and set a goal to figure out where the money goes by the time you hit the on button on the tolls.
The rising star.
Oh.
It's the nutmeg state. Come on.
Even all our state nicknames are so lame. Oh, we're the nutmeg state. Look out. Nutmeg state coming for you. Doing like out-of-state soccer tournaments and stuff. What? Oh, the Constitution state. We're the nutmeg state.
I mean, they almost had the Patriots come to Connecticut, and even they said no.
Right. It almost feels bad to be a Patriots fan, being from Connecticut, because the whole move to Hartford thing was
totally it was a bait and switch. They wanted more money, and they threatened. They had no intention of coming to Hartford.
And the bigger picture on that, like, I am a sports guy. I like watching sports.
Yeah.
Probably not as much as I used to. I used to be even more into it. But I hate how wealthy-ass sports owners routinely shake down municipalities for tax money for stadiums that don't get used for anything else. It's like, you could make money in there by doing concerts and stuff. I remember, you'd hear that. And I remember one year, I listened to some podcast where it was like the stadiums that have the most concerts in them. There was like one NFL stadium that was doing more than 5 concerts in a year.
Wow. I'll tell you, if you ever really need to concentrate and have a nice quiet place to be, go to UConn home football game. Nobody's there. It's like, it is. Wow. My friend has season tickets, and it is. And you know what sucks about the whole thing? They moved that football. It's in East Hartford. The students have to travel from stores to. That's so rude. That is so rude. They deserve. And in some ways, the crowded place in the stadium is the student section. It's the everything else. But they moved it away from the school, making it a hardship for the team, the fans, everything, and then nobody shows up.
Yeah, I went to a UConn football game a few years ago. It was like my aunt and uncle knew somebody who worked somewhere who they had the luxury box tickets.
Oh yeah.
So I got to sit there, and being in a luxury box at any sporting event is pretty cool.
Yep.
And it's glass in between the luxury boxes, so I was sitting right on the side, and Jim Calhoun, the former UConn coach who won all the championships, was there, much taller than I expected. But as a high schooler, when I was a freshman, I played football poorly, and we did a trip every year. The football team would do a trip to see a UConn football game, because that was the biggest team in Connecticut. And before they were whatever was now FCS, when it was 1A, back then they were Division 1 AA. But the field was like nothing great.
No.
Way smaller than like a Texas high school football field. I think there was only bleachers on one side of it, in fact. But it was like college-y,
Well, and I'm just saying, put the stadium. There's land in stores. I don't know if you know this, but they could have easily, built what they built in Hartford. I get what they were going for, and it was it was a big swing, but boy, was it a miss, mixing my sports here. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I agree. I mean, for anybody who's unaware of how it is in Storrs, Connecticut, there really is nothing there.
No, it's the university.
Yeah, it's middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
UConn was started as an agricultural college. When you go there, it's like dominated by these massive cow pastures and everything. And you wouldn't even have to take away from that because like every area around there is so crappy that
it's
tons of land you could get for $1 there.
Well, and it really is. I mean, talk about and UConn's a city, I mean, a small city, right? Yeah. So you come upon it and, there's businesses that are thriving, but only because there's a university there,
It's not like there's a highway into Storrs, Connecticut.
No. You're going to see some cows before you see kind of, but shout out to the UConn Dairy Bar. Excellent ice cream.
That is great ice cream there.
It's really.
If you go to ice cream, UConn, go there and get some of their ice cream. My dad, like when I was a kid growing up, dads and sons not getting along too well or anything, but he was always happy to take my sister and I, because he had a sweet tooth.
Yeah.
So always happy to bring my sister and I along, and we can stop there and get some ice cream. Yeah.
Yep.
Because I think they made it right there.
Right there, like I swear, yeah.
Yeah,
and I think right from the cows. Like I think it started out in a cow. The ingredients were. Hey, it's Greg Madrid. I was just tooling on. This is one of my best friends. My best friend. What am I saying? One of. He's the season. Sorry, Jerrod. He's the season ticket holder for UConn. So, Greg, I was just making fun of the attendance at UConn football games. All right, I got to go back. Amy said, just wait until you visit Carter, Montana. I don't know much about Montana, but. Amy, could you elaborate a little bit on that? But I'm going to say that it must have been when we were talking about that there's nothing going on in Hartford.
So I will also say I've been to Montana. Montana is there's a lot of nothing in Montana. Huge amounts of nothing. Like they call it the Big Sky State. And it's true. You see a ton of sky there because there's
nothing.
Freaking nothing in Montana, but they're so happy about it there. Like Montanans are proud to be from Montana. Connecticut people are like, screw you.
Yeah. Well, the thing about Montana, right? And Amy's elaborating. It was I guess their nickname is Carter Montana or Cinna Montana.
This is Amy. Amy is the master of wordplay. Cardamom.
Okay.
Cardamom.
Oh, cardamom. Oh, I'm.
Classic. You know what? I'm just gonna do this now. The plugs aren't till later in the show.
Yeah. But definitely plug Amy's stuff.
Yeah, since we have an example of Amy's wordplay tonight at 9, go to the easiest way to go to. Hold on, I kept the link up over here. Comeinside.us. They'll have the other links from there. She is on a comedy competition, making those kind of jokes right there.
I feel like she's a shoo-in. She's gonna win.
She's shameless.
Yeah.
Shameless.
I'm getting it now. I needed to tune my IQ up a little bit more to understand the humor. Now I got it.
Yes.
Portmanteaus got it.
9 p.m. Eastern time. I encourage everybody. Comeinside.us is the site. They'll have the other links there. You get a chance to see Amy in action in real time, doing her jokes and wordplay.
I need to shout out my goddaughter. Items up kids' nose. We had a rhinestone up my goddaughter's nose. My goddaughter is 4 years old. Recently, last month, turned 4 years old, and that tracks. That's a 4-year-old thing to do. Yeah, I got this. Can it go here?
Oh,
and sometimes it can. It comes right out. Sometimes it does not come right out.
No.
Yeah.
Have I gone into detail on my? I'm not sure if I told the story here. When I was in the first grade, I'll never forget, even though I'd love to forget it, I took a pencil eraser right up the nose.
Yeah.
I don't know what I was thinking. I was a kid. I was putting stuff up my nose. Got it high up there. I pulled it out, and the eraser got stuck in my nose. I can't remember what was going on, but there was something going on in the class where we were all supposed to be doing some kind of work. But I was freaking out because I had an eraser up my nose. Live action shot of what I look.
There it is.
I look like a first grader who shoves stuff up my nose.
Picture eraser up the nose.
Yep. Gifted child in that picture too. You'd never know it, huh? And I was so proud when I finally figured out to get it out after I got up there to start hearing kind of press and go down. It got the eraser out. I had at least 2 other times in my life since then where I shoved something up my nose, depending on that move, and that move really didn't work well.
Yeah.
So I learned all the wrong lessons there.
So my cousin, I won't say his name, but my cousin, not the one that tunes in here every once in a while, but he had actually, it went so far up his nose, he had to go to the emergency room and they had to use utensils to get it out. Yeah.
You know, there is no non-embarrassing story about anybody having to go to the emergency room for shoving something into some part of their own body.
Yes.
There's no stories anybody enjoys.
The only exception to that is your mouth, because that's choking. So okay.
That's true.
And you're part of the thing with your mouth is things are supposed to go in. That's how you get nutrients. So I get it. But any other orifice, it's going to be a funny story. I don't care. Even if it ends in death, it's still going to be funny.
Right.
Like you're going to have to chuckle.
And I still think it's an embarrassing thing on choking because this is what it's designed for, shoving stuff in there. So when you choke, you're shoving stuff in your mouth faster than it's designed to.
That's true.
Putting more stuff in there than you should be doing. That is just a pure greed move.
You're right. Although, what was I choking on? Oh, I went out to Cheesecake Factory and I had appetizers and one just went down the wrong way. And I wasn't choking, but it was all in my throat and I couldn't move it. It was just sitting there.
Oh.
It was the worst feeling ever because you're not choking, but you're crying and you're coughing.
Yeah,
What's that?
I hate that one.
Woo. It was the worst I've ever had it. And it was a few weeks ago. I was like, oh, and I'm with my friend and she's concerned, but I'm like, no, just keep on going. So she's talking. Meanwhile, I'm just getting worse. And then I'm naturally red in face. So I'm getting more and more red face. Tears are streaming down. She's like, hey, what's going on? I was like, I just can't get it out of my throat. I was drinking water. I couldn't do it.
The worst. So because I am an awful greedy pig. Yeah. I have done that move. And I've also done it like not letting whatever it was cool down enough. So not only is it stuck there in the throat, but it's burning. It's burning.
Oh, that's going to be with you a while. Yeah. That's going to be with you a while.
Yeah. That's not a scar to show off to the ladies right there.
No. Yeah. Sorry, Greg. I bet it was stressful, but now she's got a life skill. I mean, yeah. Life gives you lemons. You make lemonade. She now has a life skill. And Amy, that ain't even a plug. That's us doing our viewers a favor, telling them good entertainment to watch. Thank you for letting us give bonuses out to our audience. All right. So we did have a topic today. Now that we're 23 minutes into the show, it's the weird holiday season, right? So it's autumn, which is in New England. I love summer, but it's probably more of the activities to summer. If it weren't for the activities, fall would definitely be my favorite. But it lasts for about 2 days in New England, so it's hard to be a favorite because it's just not here.
There's like 2 days of fall where the leaves are beautiful, it smells great, and the weather's nice to go out and enjoy it. Other than that, the leaves will still be there, but it's either cold or it's rainy or
it's not good. And this year it was really weirdly warm way into October.
Yeah.
And then we had that hurricane force wind and rain, and then falls over because it didn't take all the leaves down, but the leaves it took enough down, and now because it was warm, it never really got to that bright color. And again, I was driving through Connecticut on Saturday, so you would think in the eastern part of the state, it had changed, but it wasn't those bright colors. It was like, oh, they're kind of dying on the tree, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But then you get, and then this was Halloween weekend, so you got Halloween, right? And I still like, I don't have kids, and I'm certainly, you get looks if you go trick-or-treating. So I stopped that at 40.
And the thyroid condition.
Yeah. You don't know. Don't you judge. It's been rough for everybody. So this year, so I was at this conference on weekend, so I got home about 1:00 on Sunday afternoon, and I'm like, oh crap, I'm going to be home. I should flip my light on. And my porch light was burnt out, and it was, the lamp was, I couldn't open it. It was rusted shut. So I didn't do an operating, but I was like, you know what? I'm going to get candy. And at the Martin household, family tradition, we give out full candy bars. I think this is a big sense of pride. So I might've said this a few times on the show. I don't care. It's still a good sense of pride. So I had to stop. And if you don't have a member to Costco, BJ's, or Sam's Club, it's hard to get full-size candy bars in bulk. And I'm not buying 10 full-price candy bar,
Empty them out at the checkout.
Yeah. And then the shame knows no bounds, right? A fat guy bringing up that much candy, and then my diabetic testing supplies. So I went to Shaw's because I was like, I'm not dealing. It's Halloween day. CVS is going to be cleaned out. Everybody's going to be cleaned out. Just go to the grocery store and see what they got. The only thing they had, which is okay, were Hershey bars. So I bought, I bought 3 packages, 18 bars. I don't get a lot of kids, so I'm excited. I come home, and around 4:00, I start to get real sleepy. Been up all weekend at a conference. Could take a little nap. Oh, and I had this tool out, went and fixed the so that I could flip on the light indicating you have candy to give out. Don't I fall asleep till 7:15?
Oh no!
Yeah, I pass out. And I get up and I flip on the thing, and I'm all sleepy-eyed. And I got kids. I got 3 families. So that was happy. Yeah, and I had enough left over that I could have a few of those candy bars. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So anyways.
I like Halloween too. I don't dress up. I only dress up if it's like specifically for a party that
yeah.
dressing up at. I'm not one I'm just going to dress in a costume and go about doing the things I do today. I don't even dress up for work, but if it's the opportunity to, I will. Like Saturday, I had a brunch and then I had a party, and I left the party early. And one of the reasons I left the party early on Sunday was I didn't want to be driving on the road when kids were walking around trick or treating.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that. I used to like giving out candy to kids, and I still think I do love kids in their costumes. They love being in costume. They're so happy. They love showing off. I love seeing that. But at this point, I just hate getting up off my couch. So I don't give out the candy anymore, because once I'm on the couch, I want to stay. And I don't want to be, getting in a bad mood. Like, oh my God, I've got to get up off the couch again, because I would turn into that. It's like, you know what? I will not ruin the joy and happiness that the children are experiencing out there. What I did not do, and I'm both ashamed that I did not do this and proud that I did not do it at the same time, I did not, the day after Halloween, go to like CVS and start buying up all the super cheap Halloween candy, the pumpkin shaped Reese's peanut butter cups and stuff. Yeah, half off sales. Oh.
I'll be honest with you, Jerrod. I had a sweet tooth tonight. I knew I didn't have any more candy, so I stopped at CVS. I needed to grab something else. And I couldn't find their 50% off area.
Oh!
It must be all gone. It was all Christmas stuff.
Oh.
All Christmas stuff. Like, I was like, damn. Not only like just a little bit of Christmas, like it is Christmas in CVS. Santas were up. And that's the other... Yeah, that's the other topic of the show tonight.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Christmas, but I do like Halloween. And I want to throw it. Yeah. I like to complain, but I think what I complain about a lot are other people's complaints that I hate. And one thing that I hate is people who complain about women who wear like sexy costumes. I hate hearing the complaints about like that. That's so puritanical. It's like nobody's getting hurt. nobody's out there, like no kids are suddenly growing up in all of a sudden seeing some lady in like I don't know, a sexy fireman outfit or something like that. Just stop complaining. I cannot stand the people.
So they're complaining because, see, I'll be honest. I've gotten complaints when I've worn the sexy outfits, and it hurts. It hurts.
And I hate the people who complain when you wear the sexy outfits. I
can't
stand that.
I hate it. I don't know. It's hard. I feel Halloween can bring a lot of pressure, like office dress ups. I like playing around, but some years I just don't have the time or the creativity to put something together. But boy, you can get a little bit shunned if you don't participate. If you're the one person in the office that didn't dress up. Yeah. I've been on the receiving end of that before.
And I will find a way. A lot of times, like I love when people have creative Halloween costumes. I'm so impressed by the cleverness of that. And I think a lot of it is just coming up with a creative name for whatever you put on yourself.
Yeah.
A lot of money to be made that way. A lot, that might be my move sometimes. I'll tell you something else I love. I love when people dress their dogs up on Halloween. I love dogs in costumes. That is one of my favorites. Oh my God.
That melts your curmudgeonly heart.
It does. You cannot be mad at a dog dressed up. And when they take out the dogs, the little ones, and they do it so like the little arms on the front, so it looks like they're walking.
That is funny. Or the hockey player got the little hockey stick, and the more excited, the more it looks like he's taking slap shots. Yes, I do like that.
Oh, those are so stupid cute.
They are
can't
stupid
get enough
cute.
of that. Dress up. Yeah. Let me see your dressed up. Show me your dressed up dog costume. Show me your dog costume. Come on.
Yeah. No, I agree. Yeah. So, I do that. I take the road of, coming up. Like one year, everybody was dressing up and I didn't get it together. So what I did was like, oh, it's work. We don't traditionally get to wear jeans on a regular day to work, So I just dressed up with a flannel and my Hartford Whalers baseball cap, which we don't normally get to wear caps to work, and jeans and sneakers. And I said, oh, I'm a New England guy in the fall. People thought it was so funny. And I was like, literally, I thought about it while driving to work. I just said, okay, I'm going to wear this and say it's a costume, but I had to be a little bit more creative. So that was in the last 5 years, and I enjoyed that very much.
For our show on Saturday, since I ended up doing the team introduction, I sprung on my team, because when you're evil and you're doing the team introduction, you can...
Which you are. You are.
Without their consent at all.
Yes.
And I, hey, we are Dr. Nighttime. I am Jerrod. And my Halloween costume is a middle-aged guy who has to take an omeprazole every day for his recurring heartburn. Which, it's just what you call it. It's a lot of truth to that costume. But then everybody else on the team had to come up with one. And Mindy, who was on our team, was actually dressed up in a costume. She looked awesome as this vampire costume.
Oh, I saw it on Facebook. What a great costume. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. But then everybody else, and she's the only one who's like, I'm nothing.
Which is the right thing to say.
Right.
Yeah, I can relate. I'm a middle-aged white guy that takes some omeprazole daily for my heartburn. There it is.
Yeah, there we are.
Greg,
change.
This is me doing sexy costumes. My joke all through high school is I bought a bathing suit, regular trunks, but it was the brand Speedo. So I would always build up saying, oh, I got to put on my Speedo, and people, cringing that I'm going to walk out in a banana hammock, and it was just regular trunks. So yeah.
I had a really fun, this is years ago when I was down in Florida. So I was down in Tampa, and my best friend was stationed down there with me. And we would go, Clearwater Beach was close to where we lived, which is a really nice beach. And sometimes you'd have the Europeans out there, little Speedos. And I always thought it'd be funny if, we were both married, our kids were really little, but I always thought it'd been funny if we'd secretly gotten some Speedos and put them on, then put our regular bathing suits on over it. And then when we got to the beach, be like, all right, ready to get those bathing suits, and then rip off the swim trunks and both of us parading around in our Speedos underneath that.
That is a joke. That is a commitment. That is a commitment.
Great jokes that I never followed through on.
Well, and for something that has so little material, those things are expensive.
Yeah, they really are. sometimes it's just not worth it. And you know what? I am not getting a Speedo from like the thrift store or Savers.
No. If I could, can I go to the plant and watch it come right off the line? If that's a thing, can I do that? Because I don't want any other.
Shirt that somebody else has worn. I'll wear corduroy pants that somebody else has worn. I will not wear a pre-worn Speedo.
Yeah, yeah, it is.
Exactly. Only my nutmegs in that state.
Amy, gonna win tonight. You're gonna win tonight. Just a preview of what you could see at 9 o'clock, folks.
Come inside.us.
Yeah, that's like my favorite. One of my favorite lines of Cheers is they were doing Christmas in July because I don't know, the grandmother was going to die. There was something that someone wasn't going to be there in December, so they decided to do Christmas in July. And it's Diane's family, and Sam's got to dress up like Santa Claus, and he's finally, they've had it. Everything's gone wrong, and Sam goes, let's call it. We're done. And she says, but Sam, we haven't even roasted the chestnuts. And he says, I don't know about you, but my chestnuts have been roasting all day. I died. I absolutely died. So, good night, Gregory. Great to see you too, bud.
So the next holiday, not major.
Oh, yeah.
Small one coming up in November is Veterans Day.
Exactly. Next Thursday.
Right.
A week from tomorrow. Yep.
And I try to, I'll take a day off just because.
Yeah.
You really want to know why? It's because on Veterans Day, all these restaurants will offer a free meal for the veteran.
My mom and dad, it's like their favorite holiday because my dad's a veteran, and my mom will spend a month coming up with the itinerary. And I thought I think the worst thing that happened was last year they couldn't do it because of COVID. And they were devastated. It really was. It was like they missed Christmas that year.
I did do it last year, even with COVID.
Yeah.
I'll mask up. I went to Denny's. It was a weekday. Couldn't get in. The only one I could end up doing was like Applebee's. And what they do is they'll usually have like a special menu of certain items you can. And I don't care. I'm eating for free. I leave a big tip for the
right.
The wait staff is because it'd be a real dick move to get pay $3 and then leave 20% of that. I'm not going to do that. I'll just walk away with the 20 on the table. So I might not even be paying less. I guess maybe it's just the prospect of knowing that it's going to go to a frontline worker, a waiter.
Yeah.
Rather than into big Applebee's. But that is a big thing. So here's a little funny thing: if on military bases, the restaurants around there do not do that. When they say at all participating Chili's or whatever, they mean the ones that aren't around military bases because they would just get overrun.
They would get overrun, and they're like, yeah. No, that makes sense.
I don't do the events unless I'm very specifically invited to them. I don't go to the events. I have a hard time with those, so I don't do it.
Yeah. But free meals, man.
Oh, yeah, I'm all about it. All about it.
Yeah.
And then, do you have any?
No, I don't. I told my dad, and it's not even my dad that gets excited about it. It's my mom.
Yeah.
And she's not a veteran, right? So it's like, you're co-opting here.
I don't know how I'm still single because being a veteran, A, I get all the free meals on Veterans Day, and B, free health care. How are the women not lining up to marry me? What am I doing wrong here? Free health care!
Come on! Line up! Oh, my God.
Then Thanksgiving, which that one might be my favorite holiday.
Well, yeah. You know what it is? No real responsibility, all eating. You don't have to shop for gifts. You don't have to... You got to make the meal, maybe, but you get to eat it. I agree.
It is my, my greatest joy in life is eating. So
right.
Thanksgiving meets that. You can go anywhere for Thanksgiving. If you've got a weird family situation or something, somebody will be having Thanksgiving. You know what's going to be on the menu. Lots of options available. And honestly, being a single guy, there's no expectations that I make anything.
Zero.
Or bring anything, but I will get all the leftovers that I want, and it is great. I love it.
I get asked I get asked, hey, could you bring cider? Like, no,
Right.
like shit that if I forget, I could still get on the way there. No
Exactly.
prep, right?
I'll bring
And
paper
some years I
towels.
do that. I plan it. I'm like, well, I don't have room in my refrigerator to keep it cold. I'll just get it on the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's great, and you get the leftovers at home. I love a leftover Thanksgiving sandwich. I love leftovers from Thanksgiving.
I think a sandwich is on my Thanksgiving sandwich. It's regular white bread with the turkey, obviously, mayonnaise, liberally salt and peppered, and stuffing on it.
Yeah.
And there is nothing like bread on bread, because that's all that is.
It is.
It's just bread on bread.
I've always noted that any sandwich is improved by adding extra carbs on it, no matter.
Oh,
what.
yeah.
You have a cheeseburger, you put like macaroni and cheese on that thing, it's better. When I eat lasagna, you know how I eat lasagna? I make it into a sandwich.
Yeah, I knew it. Yeah, you know what? I could do 6 layers, or I could do 12 by stacking.
I love it. Oh
yeah. No, you're right. You're absolutely right.
And I love green bean casserole. I don't know why, but I love.
So you're one of these health nuts.
Yeah. I love it. And my dear grandmother passed away earlier this year.
Oh,
but
sorry.
when I was stationed in Virginia and I could come home every Thanksgiving, I would. At that point in time, she was in her 70s already. My aunts, she has 2 daughters, and my mom and dad would help, but my grandmother making the homemade pies still and everything, and I love green bean casserole. And I don't know, the first year I went, we were eating it. I'm like, I love green bean casserole, but I hadn't been home in a long time, so
yeah.
I'm like, man, I just love it. Can I get more of that green bean casserole? My grandmother would make an entire extra thing of green bean casserole. My aunt's asked, why are you making so much more green bean casserole? And she's like, because Jerrod's coming up. And he loves green bean casserole. And that was such a sweet thing. And now, whenever I have it, I think of my dear grandmother. Because the best ingredient in any food is your grandmother's love.
That's it. Actually, that was a joke growing up with my grandmother. I would always go, "Oh, Grandma," she would butter my toast, right? And I go, "Oh, the toast is so good." And she says, "Do you know why?" And I said, "No, Grandma, why?" And she'd go, "'Cause I buttered it with love." And we do it every time I stayed over our house. It was the going thing. Yeah.
Oh,
gotta love grandmas.
Grandmas are the best.
They're the best. Really, they are the best. I had a train of thought and I lost it. We got quite the viewership this week. Hey everybody. This week we're talking a little bit about this strange fall into holiday season and what we like about it, and knowing Jerrod and I what we don't like about it. So be sure to weigh in on the comments. We'll bring you into the conversation.
Well, being on Thanksgiving, I feel like we're at a high point because it's a lot of things that I like. Because I will tell you one other thing I enjoy about Thanksgiving.
What's that?
It's not unusual for there to be a Friendsgiving, on the Friday or on the Saturday, where you and your friends get together and do a smaller one, and then you do bring something and it's less pressure. So I enjoy those. Here's a thing I love about the Thanksgiving holiday is the Friday. I do not go to shopping on Black Friday.
No.
There'll be more complaints coming up later in the show that involve that. But I'm taking the day off from work this year because I just needed to burn some floating holidays. And why not?
Yeah.
Usually, past jobs, I'd work that day because that is the best work day of the year to catch up on everything.
Because nobody's there.
Taking the day off. I remember having one job where I could catch up on months worth of shit that was just weighing me down because I'd have nothing at all I had to do that day.
Yeah.
But it would suck when you get a boss who's like, well, people aren't going to have anything to do today, so I'm going to
here's a project.
I don't want them. I got plenty to do already.
Exactly.
Oh, it's a great catch-up work there.
I do have a Thanksgiving tradition. It's kind of both a Thanksgiving and a holiday and a Christmas. It started off as a Christmas tradition, but it worked so well on Christmas we started doing it on Thanksgiving, and that's the Thanksgiving evening movie. My friend Greg, who was on here earlier, no matter we met in college, but then found out we grew up a town apart. So when we went home for college, we were close by. So, you're like, all right, everybody goes to bed at like 9:00. Let's go to the midnight movie. That's what we did when we were home from college and things like that. So, and we both are huge movie fans. And to this day, we still do it. We will. Sometimes it's not the midnight movie, but it's the late movie because, he's got to put the kids to bed. I'm like waiting till. I'm not just being rude and leaving to go see a movie with my family.
I had a tradition when I was in the Marines. It was actually my best friend was talking about in Florida. We were stationed in California before that, and we would do. He had the football flags, and this is, a much skinnier, much better shaped Jerrod. But we would have a big flag football game every Thanksgiving, and that was when I was in California. We'd do it. Then in Florida we would do it, and we were both pretty good by then.
Yeah,
he was already good by then. I'd come, my body kind of had filled in more. I had a little bit of control of my legs and hands.
Sure,
run pretty fast, and that was a lot. You get yourself worn out.
Yeah,
doing that, and it was known ahead of time, so that meant there was no expectations that I'd have to prepare any food or anything for the Thanksgiving.
Again, it's about I think your metric is how much can I eat without actually having to contribute.
Yes.
Yeah, I get it. I respect that.
The calories I burn creating the meal compared to the calories that I gain by eating the meal, I want that ratio to be as lopsided as possible.
Yeah. I respect it.
That's my
let's see. What other stuff about Thanksgiving? I always felt that Thanksgiving was the practice for Christmas because it seems like you're about to do it again 3 weeks later with the if I go to the same house for Thanksgiving and Christmas, so for me it always felt like, oh, okay, well, we're gonna do this whole thing again. And at some years it was the same damn meal. Like nothing changed, but that's not true anymore. My cousin Heather does a really nice job. We do the turkey on Thanksgiving, and then we do. Actually, we've been doing barbecue lately. She gets takeout barbecue for Thanksgiving, and for Christmas, and it's pretty good.
I will say the one thing at Thanksgiving that would get on my nerves is when you go to like a big family one, and you either get like you've got to play nice with either those extended family members that you don't really care for, or sometimes like could be like, your grandmother's friend's husband or something like that. It's just like, I don't want to make conversation. I just want to eat. Okay, I don't want to make conversation with you. I will go out of my way to, make it pleasant for my grandmother. Be nice, very nice to my mother. It's your mother.
Right.
Your mother. I don't want to deal with like great cousin Larry over there.
Yeah, exactly.
Talking about his missing toes.
Yeah, no, I'm the same way. Also, I was a younger cousin, and all my cousins had to bring every girlfriend or boyfriend they dated.
Oh wow.
And I'm like, oh, it's a new one this year. Then one stuck and they were the spouses. So, okay. But it took a while. There were a few Christmases there that I was like, don't bring these people around. First of all, I swear it's the holiday. They ran screaming, it's our family. They're like, you got to deal with us. And, we're rude.
Such a rookie mistake. If I could give advice to the youth out there, and it's not just the youth to do it, but it's like, if you are in a relationship that you're not married yet, you're not engaged yet, especially like less than 1 year.
Yes.
So it would be the first one. Each of you spend your Thanksgiving dinner with your own families. Don't leave your family behind to go be it's so uncomfortable.
Oh, it's horrible. I don't care.
There.
Yeah, I don't care how cool your family is. It is not a fun experience for the other person. And if Well, if you really want to know if it has staying power, because you will be single by Valentine's Day. If my family, oh God, like yeah.
I want to eat until I want to eat an embarrassing amount.
Exactly. I want to unbuckle
people who are legally required to love me still after I'm done eating.
Right.
Go to the girlfriend's family and eat like you really want to eat, and then after that, I'm not gonna lie. Once the meal is done, especially dessert, after dessert too, I don't want to have a conversation with anybody.
No.
I really don't.
The tryptophan's hitting in.
Yeah.
It's going to be danger for me to drive home. I'm so sleepy.
Yeah. It's like, could you just wrap this up in aluminum foil? I'm just going to go. And you feel like a jerk, but you know what? Again, legally required to love you.
But the other thing is, the host wants you to leave too. So they're going through the same thing. Like, oh my God. And they got a whole house to clean because if I'm doing it right, I'm not helping cleaning.
I won't drink wine on Thanksgiving. I don't see. Maybe if I lived at the location I was eating, I could pull it off.
Yeah.
But one glass, a little tiny bit of alcohol after all that food,
then you're done.
Yeah, it's hard enough to stay awake as it is at that point.
I totally agree.
One thing that does get on my nerves, though, I have enjoyed the phenomena. It's really, I think, only been kind of widespread in the last 15 years, maybe 20 years, is the Thanksgiving sandwich at restaurants. That's a yummy sandwich. We talked about it. The only time you get it most of the year is the days after Thanksgiving, but it's nice when you go somewhere and they offer it there for you. But when they use cold cut turkey for it, that is not a Thanksgiving sandwich.
And they should warn you. They should warn you. First of all, a restaurant Thanksgiving turkey is always subpar to what you can make at home. You just can't, because you're using, first of all, and I if there are people out there that don't cook a whole turkey for Thanksgiving, first of all, shame on you. Second of all, a turkey breast, even cooked in the oven, if it ain't a whole bird, it's not the same. It's not the same. And if you make a sandwich out of it, it's already inferior. And that's what restaurants are doing. They're using if they got homemade turkey, it's a damn breast, because they don't need the dark meat. They don't need any of that. They slap it on. They're using stovetop stuffing or something that they made in a pot. Never touched the inside of a bird. And then but it's good, but it's kind of like, it reminds you of what a Thanksgiving sandwich is. It's almost Thanksgiving. Like, I get it. I remember this, and it just makes me want it more.
Well, I will say the chasm between a real Thanksgiving turkey and the restaurant that just cooked the turkey breast is a lot narrower than that restaurant that just cooked the turkey breast and that place using cold cuts on that.
Yeah.
Shame on you.
Shame. And then loading it with gravy like we're not gonna notice.
Right.
Like that uniform cut.
Right. Even Boar's Head, it's just
it's not the same.
Boar's Head turkey is good. Don't try to make it something.
But is it $14 good? That's the other thing. Is it $14 a pound good? Because that's obscene.
Right. But when I buy Boar's Head, it's like for a special occasion.
Yeah,
I'm making sandwiches for somebody I'm about to propose marriage to.
That's it. I mean, Jesus, you gotta take out a loan. Right. Literally, and then Shaw's doesn't carry Boar's Head. They carry Dietz and Watson, and they're trying to put the same price tag on as Boar's Heads. I'm like, no, I know what you're doing. You're just trying to make me think this is premium.
Yeah. When I'm getting Boar's Head, I will sometimes get it, and I'll be like, I'm spoiling myself this week.
Yeah.
Don't give me imitation Boar's Head.
Don't do it. Don't do it. I will go. What's on special? Move that expensive stuff. Right. I want to see what's in the back there. Oh, $5.99 a pound for ham? Ding, ding, ding.
What's cheap and has the word loaf in it? I want that.
Yeah. What I want something that is so processed you can't even tell it's processed anymore.
Right. Was it an animal? Maybe.
Don't know. Maybe. Don't care. Don't know. Don't care.
I'm not here to do a biology experiment.
Nope.
I'm here to have a sandwich.
Does it stick to the bread? Yep.
That's all I need.
Can I cover up the flavor with mustard and/or mayonnaise? Yep.
Right.
That's all I want.
Will a pickle stay on it and not go sliding off? No.
Yep.
Perfect.
That's it.
Perfect.
That's it. Yeah.
I will say one thing that I found I've had to get boar's head with no other option before. Every once in a while, I'm a man who loves a nice corned beef sandwich.
Oh.
And I'm also a man who enjoys himself a sassy pastrami.
Yep.
You often can't get store brand corned beef or pastrami. So you have to go with the boar's head.
You have to go with the boar's head.
And you know what I hate?
Cornered the market.
Say, like, what kind of corned beef do you want? What kind of pastrami? That's what boar's head takes it too far. I don't make me make that decision. Don't make me make the corned beef or pastrami decision.
Right.
I want pastrami or corned beef. I don't need anything special flavor. And there's like two different cuts for the. I don't need that. Just give Daddy Daddy just wants some corned beef.
But you know something, Jerrod? It's almost cheaper to just buy a corned beef, cook it, and then have the sandwiches made out of what you cooked.
So that brings up an interesting point right there. So if I have the choice for a turkey sandwich, I like big pieces of cut up turkey.
You like thin corned beef.
If I get a ham sandwich, nice big chunks of ham cut off a ham you baked, better than sliced ham. But yes, that corned beef sandwich, I prefer the thinly sliced corned beef.
You need to do a Kramer and get your own meat slicer.
That's taking it too far, Ian. Taking it too far.
I love corned beef and I love making it. I loved it when I first started using a slow cooker. It's the best thing to cook in a slow cooker. Then I got a pressure cooker, and it's even better in a pressure cooker. I could in the cabbage. It's the one time I like cabbage. So good, so good. I'm getting hungry.
I know, and I haven't had like the corned beef in a while too. Because you're right. Even though my favorite way to have corned beef is thinly sliced on a sandwich.
Yeah,
a nice corned beef brisket that you've cooked up.
Yeah,
that is a delicious meal.
It's almost like two different meats, even though it's the same thing. It's two different flavor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Probably the only reason I don't make it more for myself, it isn't because it'll be too much for me to eat. It's because it'll be too much for me to eat, but I will.
You will eat it.
Because
I'll tell you, if you get one on the smaller end, like a 3-pounder or a 4-pounder, it shrinks a lot. It's not that bad. And then within 3 days, without feeling like you've eaten, it's not like a roast beef where you're like, oh crap, I'll never, Boar's Head does a good roast beef. Boar's Head does a really good roast beef.
Yeah. So, as we've definitely brought this to the food territory, I'm going to talk cabbage now.
Let's talk cabbage.
And as a youth, I did not like cabbage. As I've gotten older, I have a whole new appreciation for it. One, the cabbage in like a boiled corned beef is delicious. And I love it with some mayonnaise on it, which I read about years ago. And I was like, that sounds weird, but I'll try it. And it turns out that is delightful.
All right. I haven't tried that. I'll have to try it.
Surprisingly good. And for the viewers who don't know, if you haven't done it, when you do cabbage boiled with the corned beef, it like gets a lot of the salt into the cabbage. And it's really, I find
it's great.
Wonderful. Making sandwiches instead of lettuce using cabbage. It is a lighter flavor, yet crunchier. Does Jerrod go and buy a head of cabbage and cut it up for that? Absolutely not. I get the bag of coleslaw that you could but I just use it for the cabbage. Boom. Right
Genius.
on the sandwich. Better than lettuce. You know what else I'll use cabbage now?
Where?
If I'm doing like an easy thing to do is just a stir fry, right?
Yeah.
Throw some chicken or beef in there, maybe marinate it, throw some sauces in it. You want some vegetable in it? Cabbage is a really good vegetable to use there. It takes the flavor of whatever's in there. It's an easy way to get veggies in there. And there's no preparation. Because there's times I would always love a nice stir fry with the vegetables that I like in it. But the ones that I like for the most part, they require prep work. And I'm not always, especially on a weeknight, I'm not always in the mood to be slicing up zucchini or carrots.
Right.
They're good and sliced up in there, but I don't want to deal with it. Or I don't want to do too much of it. And then just handfuls of cabbage right from that coleslaw bag. You know what else? There'll be carrots in there too.
Oh yeah.
It's got it all in there. And it works like a champ.
Now, are you a coleslaw fan?
I am now. When I was a youngster, I was not a fan of the coleslaw. By the way, our show tonight sponsored by Cabbage.
Big Cabbage got to us.
Big Cabbage, yes. We sold out to Big Cabbage.
Yeah.
I like coleslaw.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, I did, and I hit some point in my early 20s where I'm like, let me try it again. And I really liked it. When I did my barbecue tour, so Western Carolina style
yes,
sandwiches. When you have a pulled pork sandwich, you do put coleslaw on it. But a lot of places, they just, pulled pork sandwich, you put coleslaw on it, and that's the end of it, which is still good. When you get the primo kind, which is the Western Carolina pulled pork sandwich, which is the pork shoulders pulled, not chopped, delicious. It's that red vinegar barbecue sauce, which is...
I got it in my mouth.
When they do their coleslaw, they don't do it like with a mayonnaise type dressing. They do it with the vinegar barbecue sauce.
Mm-hmm.
So then when that's on the sandwich, oh my goodness, it is a mouthful of heaven.
It's a whole new world.
Oh my goodness.
I miss my Carolina barbecue.
Me too. I've got a friend down in North Carolina when I worked at my last job. You know, people there all across the country, and he keeps inviting me down there. He's in Greensboro, and it is close. Oh, how did I forget the name? Lexington, North Carolina. Man,
it's too good. I had good barbecue in Hartford. The Bears barbecue in Hartford is pretty good.
That's good.
Yeah.
I am, of course, a barbecue aficionado.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you know, Jerrod, it's Northern barbecue. It's clearly they know a little bit about their barbecue, but it's not the culture. So, you know, there's something about going into this place that the family's owned forever, and it's their, you know, Civil War recipe, you know, from the 1800s, and they've just been making it with this, you know, the sauce and the it's just
like
good.
I know, like Lexington, North Carolina, not a city.
Nope.
Town. And there are more barbecue restaurants there per capita than anywhere else in the world. And they are all just exquisite. Oh, look, South Carolina had a whole hog barbecue there. Place I went, little rundown place out in the middle of nowhere. I saw the like them doing a whole hog. You don't see the pig in there because they were doing it a big thing, I'll just call it. But it's whole hog, so it's like super flavorful. Years later, it's just in the last few years, I saw him on some cooking special, you know, as a whole hog barbecue specialist, like best in the country.
Wow.
But I got a little taste of heaven there.
Mm-hmm. I do want to point out that this may be the third show that we significantly talked about barbecue. Yeah, we're going to change the theme of this show. It's just going to be Ian and Jerrod talk barbecue.
I know, and it's not like we're like traveling the country going to barbecue.
No, and we're not repeating the stories. We're telling new stories. We're that into it.
We're just like, I really like barbecue.
Yeah, I just really do. All right, let's transition for the last, or not really last, because New Year's is in there too, I guess.
Yeah.
Although we're deep winter now. Christmas.
And I'm sure we'll.
And you know, and we're doing. I want to recognize it's also there's also other holidays in there. You know, Hanukkah. You know, so these are just the ones we celebrate in our tradition. So
and I'm sure as it gets closer, we'll do shows more like specifically dedicated to it. But my boss today during lunch, she went out and she came back, and my least favorite thing that happens starting now is happening, where everywhere is just crowded. Everywhere there's a store, it is just crowded and packed. And I hate that time of year, because if I just want to go somewhere and like, I don't know, hit the food court, because like the malls like that, like the Thai food or some kind of like Asian or Cajun food, and I love them. It's like I'll get the combo with the 3 meats in it over. It's got to be so bad for me, but I
love it.
Oh, and now like parking will be terrible for that.
Well, and now friggin' there's no restaurants left in Providence Place. Warwick Wall's not bad,
Right?
but yeah, there's like half the restaurants are gone. Taco Bell's gone.
They used to have
Popeyes is gone.
They used to have a poke place there that was.
Yeah, that's gone. The poke
yeah.
place is gone. They have a Japanese restaurant, but the Chinese restaurant is gone.
Yeah, they've got Thai restaurants still.
The Thai restaurant's still there. And then, of course, Johnny Rockets will never die.
Johnny Rock, and there's always a Charlie's.
Yeah, there's always a Charlie's, and there's always a but Warwick's going strong. I think there might be 1 or 2 open stalls, but I was in Warwick, but I was shocked when I went to Providence Place. I was like, "Ooh, you really lost some major fare here."
The only 2 times this year I've gone to Providence Place Mall was to see Black Widow and then to see Shang-Chi.
Yep.
Yeah, it was a disappointing lack of those restaurants. Which is probably good for me, though.
Yeah, no, I hear you. Oh, let me tell you this. I went and saw Dune in IMAX. I went last Tuesday night. Nice. Dune in IMAX. Sold out. Every seat was taken.
What?
Yeah. It was bizarre. It was weird. Jerrod, it was so bad. So I didn't think I was going to make it. I thought the showing was at 6. So I got tied up at work, and it takes about, even though it's 3 miles away, it takes about a good 20 to 30 to park and everything. I got to give myself 30 minutes to get there. So I was like, it's 5:45. I'm like, I missed the movie. I won't go tonight. And I just looked to see if there was anything on my way home in Warwick, because I was like, all right, if it starts then, I'll go. But I kind of wanted to see it in IMAX. And well, I look and I had the time wrong. It was 6:30. So I was like, oh, I'll go. So I go, and then I get into the food court, and I have Showcase Subscribe, which means it's free. I pay a monthly fee, and IMAX is free. So I went, and I'm picking my seat. There's no seats left. There's front row, and you do not want a front row at an IMAX.
No.
You don't want it in a regular movie, but certainly not an IMAX. And then there's one that it's a seat by themselves because it has no seats, so people in wheelchairs can sit in it. Right. So but it's not labeled. It's not labeled handicap. It is labeled. Right. So I grabbed that seat because it's just me, right?
Yeah.
So it's the last row. Best place to sit in IMAX, I've determined. And I don't have anybody around me, so my COVID worrying self was a little less worried. But I was looking at it, and I was like, they're not doing gaps between people. Every seat is taken. I was like, we're back. We're back. Dune brought them back.
Yep. Hey, I got my shots.
I got my booster, too. So
that's nice.
I'm feeling good. And I'm going to see Eternals tomorrow night, 6 p.m. Warwick.
So here's what my move is, because I wait. Yeah. I can't see them immediately, just because.
Oh, okay.
I like to choose my seat, and I don't like a crowded movie theater, and it's not a COVID thing. I didn't. No,
I'm with you. I mean, I was shocked because I'll go to a 6:00 movie all the time, and it's since COVID, 5 people in them.
Yeah.
I think so. I was shocked, but anyways, you're. I agree with you.
I'm gonna give a few weeks to go see Eternals. I watched Dune, but I watched HBO Max, Virgin, and that did seem like a movie that would have been more enjoyable on the big screen. Like that, really, there's some movies that I think are really made for movie theaters.
Yeah,
maybe not as much anymore, but that to me seemed like one that was.
Well, and sometimes I don't buy into it. Like I've been trying. Even though I appreciate they're on HBO, and there are movies that I watched on HBO Max that I would not have paid to see in the theater, that I ended up watching and enjoyed, but glad I didn't. The one that I almost got wrapped up to because he was talking so much about it was David Chase talking about the Sopranos movie and saying, you got to see this in the theater. It's so made for the theater. Well, I didn't see it in the theater. I watched it on HBO, and it wasn't that great. And I'm so glad. I don't think seeing it in the theater would have changed the experience. The story was just mediocre at best. Like, so, but with Dune, I did feel, and again, I'm paying for that Showcase Subscribe. You get, the movies can be IMAX. So I was like, I'm going to do it,
Yeah.
But it was crazy.
Although you went to Providence, but did you get a soda there?
Oh my God. I've had the worst luck with sodas there.
Was the soda machine, was it all flat?
Not flat. This happened twice, right? And I'll share this. I don't really care. I'm diabetic, so sugary soda is like liquid death to me, right?
What?
So I order the popcorn. I order usually I go medium popcorn, medium soda. Although I think I'm going down to a small. I haven't been finished the popcorn, so I don't know what's going on. Post-COVID Ian can't do a medium popcorn. But so I ordered the soda, and you need soda if you're gonna have popcorn.
Yeah.
You need a beverage, right? So I go, and there's 4 machines, and I used to love the idea of these freestyle Coke machines where you can get any flavor in the world.
I already know where you're going.
So I go to the first machine, and I've learned always taste your soda before you commit to it, right? Mm-hmm. It looks great. It's like it's not sweetened at all. It's the syrup without it. And I go and I try every diet soda on the machine. Do it with the next machine. Then I start just doing the flavors I like. I went through all 4. Go up to the guy and say, hey, there's something wrong with your diet. And he says, oh, yeah, diet's not working. We don't know what's going on. We got Coke coming out to fix it. I was like, oh, well, what do you have that's not? And he's like, nothing. I was like, well, can I have a water? Well, it costs more. I was like, we're not paying more. Like, then I want my money back for the popcorn. No, we don't give money. I was like, shit. Like, I got screwed. I really got screwed. And then, Jerrod, it happened again. Weeks later, it happened again. So I thought that's what you were going for.
What else to see Shang-Chi? Because I like Coke Zero.
Yeah.
My favorite. I like the way it tastes better than regular Coke. I like not.
It's supposed to taste like regular Coke. It's the closest to regular Coke with
it. A little bit better. It's like just it does. Like now, regular Coke has this one taste in the back of my mouth that it doesn't have. And I like soda a lot, so I'd much rather take my chances with an artificial sweetener with the aspartame than put more sugar into my body, because I think, if there is any poison in our diet in America, it's sugar. And I went there, the 4 machines, first 3, no Coke Zero, like none. I don't think they even had any diet. The 4th one finally had it, or it might have just been Diet Coke, no bubbles.
If your machines don't work, they're no good. I love the variety because I've always, as a diet soda drinker, and I am a big soda drinker to the point of detriment. I drink a lot of soda. Well, let me put this. I don't drink a lot of liquids, which I probably should do more. The percentage of liquids I put into my body is mostly soda. Like so I used to complain as somebody that only could drink diet. I get so tired of Diet Cola. It doesn't matter, Diet Coke, Diet Pepsi, whatever. It's just, could I have a Diet Dr. Pepper, which is my favorite soda? Can I have a Diet Sprite? Can I have, why do I have to have 500 when I go to Taco Bell, 500 Baja Blasts and shit like that? Can I have one other diet besides Diet Coke, Yeah. So I was up in arms, and it's only been at Providence Place I've had problems with. Normally I go to Warwick because it's more on my way home, and the mall is a pain in the ass.
And it's such a middle-aged guy bitch that we have on the too. Like, no diet beverage, no diet sodas.
Well, and now I'll double down on that. You're paying a premium. There is nowhere you pay more for soda than at a movie theater. Maybe a sports game, but I think they're neck and neck.
It had me thinking, like, when I go to see Eternals, like, going up to the thing, like, before I get anything, is the soda machine working properly?
That's it.
Press the buttons and push the thing and just slurp a little in my hand to make sure.
I may buy my soda, go test it, then go back and buy my popcorn. Or if the soda ain't working, then I'll get a refund. Because they would have refunded my soda. They did refund my soda.
Oh, they did? Okay.
And then I went and I took the cup and got regular sugary soda just so I'd have a little something to wash down the popcorn, which kills me. Literally.
Yeah. It's funny. Like, all I drink is water or soda.
That's it. Me too. Although lately I've had a little bit, and I just have a little, but I keep a little chocolate milk in the house.
So every once in a while, I do get some milk, and honestly, I get it because sometimes Daddy likes to tip back a little drink at the end of the day, and if Daddy likes soda, Daddy wants a sweet alcoholic beverage.
So you got a White Russian going on.
Not even that much effort. It's either just like Kahlua and milk or Bailey's and milk, and it is so yummy.
What is Kahlua and milk called? It's not a White Russian. It's a shit. You take the vodka out, and that's what it is. It's I forget what it's called.
It's still delicious.
Oh yeah, my mom. That's her drink right there.
Yeah, it's good, and I'm glad there's no off-brand Kahlua because my other drink that I like is of course rum and Coke Zero, and like I won't like Captain Morgan's. I like the spiced rum in there, but I will go out if I can save a little money and it tastes about the same. I will get the rum that has the recipe for rum and Coke on it. As if the name of the drink doesn't tell you the entire recipe. Like, thanks for the update. I never thought of putting rum in my rum and Coke. This is great.
Yeah. Jerrod, I used to be a rum and Coke until I discovered Jack and Diet.
Yeah,
I love whiskey and soda. I don't know what it is. I love it.
I had that, and that's not bad. Honestly, anything you put almost anything in Coke,
and Coke, it's true.
Probably gonna enjoy it. Just something about the spiced rum and Coke. It brings out the pirate in me. I don't know. Maybe it's still foo-foo in high school enough for me. I don't know.
Well, I always feel like you're a pirate if you drink that, and you're a cowboy if you drink the Jack and Diet. So it really is. What kind of old-timey archetype do you want to be today? And then my embarrassing drink, I love a Cape Cod, which is vodka and cranberry. I love it.
So I learned those drinks from my dear grandfather when I was a youth. I don't think I've ever actually had a Cape Codder.
Oh, it's so good. Cape Codder, and it's also called something else that is way, way more embarrassing. I forgot what it is. Really? Oh, it's Sea Breeze.
Oh, no. You got to stick with the Cape Codder on that.
Yeah, Cape Codder. Yeah, I think if you go to anywhere but New England, it's known as the Sea Breeze.
Oh, I'll think of Grandpa's name for it when I try.
Yeah, exactly. I already feel, it comes in a very fancy glass and it's pink by the time it's done. So you're already feeling a little like you got to be secure right now.
Right.
Yeah. But I'll order it shamelessly.
So a couple things have happened. We're running a longer show tonight, but
I think we got to table the Christmas talk. We'll just. Yeah. It's not your favorite time, and it's my birthday, so we could do a whole thing.
Yeah, a lot of conversation we can have on that one. But I don't drink often, but
no, me neither.
Last few weeks, I've done a couple things where I've had a couple drinks that I've really enjoyed. So 2 weekends ago, a friend of mine and I went to the Nordic Lodge, which for viewers who aren't aware of the Nordic Lodge, it is what heaven is like. It's all you can eat lobster and king crab legs and prime rib and filet mignon. And I kept on trying to talk him into because he'd expressed interest when I mentioned it before. So I got, come on, man, let's go to Nordic Lodge. I've been just dying for some lobster tail. Like I thought of going to Shaw's and being like, hey, just steam me up a couple lobsters, grab some butter. But I didn't want to have to deal with the pressure of having I don't have little clackers or anything like that. I want
your house will smell seafoody for weeks.
Yeah. So going there and it was just so good, and the prime rib. Oh, I will mention one. I won't go too deep into the food because we've talked enough about food. When you get the lobster, they've got the melted clarified butter. And I went to get something. I was getting some other thing, and there was some lady who had just gotten hers, and it was where the horseradish and garlic is. Ian, she was putting garlic in her butter for the lobster. So simple, so brilliant. Yeah.
That's game changer.
Right?
Yeah.
You might have to go down to the Nordic Lodge so you can.
I don't know, man. You got to take out a loan.
Yeah.
What's it, $120 now?
$125 a person.
125, yeah.
So my thing was, let's go around 3 because I do like the old man time. If I'm going to be eating a lot, the late lunch, early dinner. Because if you eat too much at the end of the day,
you're just
well, if you do it at lunch, you've already ruined. It's too much of your day you've ruined. That's the perfect time to do it. I thought there would be nobody there. There was an hour wait, so we stayed outside. The waiters out there to order drinks, so we had a sangria. It was the most delicious sangria.
I'm a huge fan of sangria if it's done right. You just can't take wine and throw some fruit in there.
No.
And especially I feel like they go in the back. They're like underneath the bar, putting the wine in, and then throwing some fruit in there. There was no settling and steeping and
like we couldn't even. I wouldn't have any more because it was so good that if I'd had one more, I would have had too many more.
Well, that's what they're hoping for. They're hoping you're going to fill up on that stuff.
Yeah, it was so delicious. They need to sing their praises. Then this last weekend, a friend of mine, he'll do brunch at his house, and he's an excellent cook, and he loves doing brunch. Like he'll make his own hollandaise and everything. He loves to make an eggs Benedict, and I love to eat an eggs Benedict, so it works.
So it's a good friendship made in heaven.
Yes, and a bunch of it's people I work with who I'm friends with them all. I work with great people, and they all brought their dogs, so I get to play with us, pet all the dogs, which I love doing, and him and his wife doing the mimosas. Oh, I forgot how much I enjoyed a mimosa.
Mimosa, yeah.
It was perfect. And I've had mimosas before, and I don't know if it's like if the champagne is too dry. These were.
Or they put too much. You don't want to overpower the orange juice. You need that orange juice to get the good flavor. And sometimes I think a lot of people mix up the proportions and put 2 parts of champagne and 1 part of orange juice, and it should be the other way around.
Splash of OJ on top. Yeah. Then you just have why fuck with the champagne?
Then it's champagne in a dirty glass.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, so I have been in a big mimosa and sangria place the last few weeks.
I'm jealous. I haven't had a good sangria. I actually went out to lunch. It was a coworker's last day tomorrow, so we took her out to lunch, and her supervisor, who's a good friend of mine, is on maternity leave. So we all go, and it's middle of the workday. We're not drinking, but Liz, who's on maternity leave, drinking. She had a sangria, and it looked fantastic. I'm usually not one that'll see someone's drink and go, "Oh, I should get one too." Today, I was like, if this wasn't a work time thing, I would have gotten it.
Yeah, if I had over the summer when you were at your beach house.
Yeah.
If there had been a party that we were all at, like a nice big pitcher of sangria for everybody to enjoy, would have been the perfect drink for that. You don't want anything too hard.
Nope.
You don't want to get hammered on that.
Nope.
Because you want to enjoy the day. Beer, it can work for that, but I feel like beer, it's better at other places. But when it's like relaxing with friends at the beach.
I'll also spike some lemonade. I think spiked lemonade is not the worst thing in the world.
That's another good one. I know Katie and Jess Bucher make a delicious tropical rum punch.
Ooh.
That is very enjoyable as well.
All right, now I'm hungry. Should we wrap up?
I'm just gonna. My oldest daughter, I don't know if it was with all my other daughters, got me an Apple Watch for my birthday.
Nice.
It is so cool.
Twinsies.
Nice. It's so cool when your kids get older and you can start getting cool gifts from them.
Yeah, it's not, the homemade card anymore. Although those are sweet.
Those are very sweet. My niece did a homemade card for me, and she called me the funniest person. So
well, there it is.
He is way up there on the Jerrod list.
I bet. Yeah. It's going to be a good Christmas time for your niece.
Yeah, she's an all-star. So
yeah. So
that is it. So I guess we're moving to plugs.
Yeah, let's move to plugs. I have a couple this week, or I have one. On Friday, and this is an in-person event. This is the first in-person event I can plug. I believe it's the 7:00 time slot, but check Facebook at Providence Improv Guild. We are going to try doing Would I Lie to You in person. And what's even more exciting, we've invited recent class level takers. Yeah. So folks that have just done a class or two at PIG, not graduates, not anything. They've just done a few classes, and we've asked them to participate and be the panelists on Would I Lie to You. So you'll see some new talent, new fresh faces.
One of my level 2 students will be a part of that as
there
well.
It is. So
chosen by me for that.
Yeah. So I don't know if I'll make it, but Wooly Shackleton will be there.
You need a big star like that.
You got it. I mean, yeah. And then what other things are you performing this week?
So this Friday, I'm performing at Bring Your Own Improv down at the Warwick Center for the Arts, doing the 7 p.m. and 9 p.m. shows. I need to check my schedule. I believe Amy is going to be there too.
Awesome.
I think her and I are on the same schedule this Friday, so that will be cool.
That'll be fun.
And I think you and I are on the same weekend schedule for the Providence Improv Guild.
Are you a Friday nighter?
I'm a Saturday nighter. But
I'm a Friday nighter.
But I think we're on the same weekend schedule.
Oh, that's awesome. So you're performing Saturday.
We are not on the same.
No. You're right. You performed last weekend, right?
Yeah, I performed last weekend.
And our team performed last weekend.
Okay.
I am not on this weekend. You're not on this weekend. We're on the same schedule.
So I guess it's right now until we
mess everything up.
It is on the off week from our shows. Okay, Amy put in there. Yeah.
Yep.
So Amy and I will both be performing Friday night at Bring Your Own Improv. And then next weekend, I will be performing Saturday night at Providence Improv Guild at AS220. And Ian will be Friday night at AS220.
I think so. For some whatever reason, I don't think I'm on next weekend.
Really?
But I got to check it. I thought we
schedule.
I got to check it. Hey, if we are, I'm excited.
Right?
Oh, and then we will do another Would I Lie to You on a Saturday night, the 20th. So we're doing the first one on Friday and then Saturday. See what it is. I told both Peter and I, the producer, and I, Fridays are a little bit easier for me and a little bit more empty at Pig. So we think it'll land on a Friday night.
Very cool.
Yeah. I'm excited. Do things in person. Other things coming up. I think that's it. Our show, 2 weeks. We should be back on the 2 week schedule. So hopefully,
don't miss it.
Yeah, because I have rehearsal next Wednesday. I think this will align my Wednesdays. Yeah. So, all right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Have a wonderful, wonderful week. We're at the hump day, so we're almost to the weekend. And yeah, thanks for hanging with us. Let's do the awkward wave. Bye. I can't click and wave.
I know. And the windows are so narrow here.